Hello friends, Kalarav School Halol presenting this video for standard 9th subject SS. Friends, we were discussing about chapter number 5, Movement Towards Independence. About this chapter, we already discussed the previous part of this chapter in video number 1 that already published. Those who hadn't seen that video, firstly go and watch that video so that you can understand what is the matter in this lesson. Friends, still here we have to complete it. Now we have to start from the today. Azad Hind Fauj and Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, so who was Subhash Chandra Bose and what is his importance into formation of the Azad Hind Fauj, that is given in detail here. Subhash Chandra Bose was born in Cuttack. He was born in Cuttack in Orissa state. Cuttack is took place into the Orissa state. Okay, 23rd January 1897. This is his birth date. Okay, so you have to remember in your mind that where he was born and what is his birth date. 23rd January 1897. His father, Rai Bahadur Janakinath Bose, was a government lawyer. Who was he? What was he? He was the government lawyer. What was his name? Rai Bahadur Janakinath Bose. Okay. In a British judiciary. He was government lawyer in British judiciary. His mother, Parvati Devi, was a philanthropist. Prediction was that this Bengali lead will become the sincere servant of the Britishers. Everyone believed that, like his father and mother, he also served for the Britishers, British government. Everyone was thought about that. But he went on become a staunch freedom fighter against the British Empire. But in future, in reality, he became the freedom fighter against the British Empire for India. After passing the examination with good marks from the Calcutta's Presidency College, he went to England for the further studies. After completing his examination, with good marks, after completing his schooling examination with good mark in Calcutta's Presidency College, he went to England for further studies. He passed a very difficult ICS exam. At that time, ICS exam, those who are passed, they will get the job on the British East India Company on a higher post. So, first class exam he was passed, Indian Civil Service examination at a 4th number. All over India, he got the 4th rank, at that time. And returned to Calcutta, and after that he returned to Calcutta. Seeds of the revolution were planted into his mind due to the insulting attitude of the pride of the British professor at the Presidency College towards the Indian. Whatever the behavior about all the professors from the East India Company, from the British side, which kind of the behavior they were doing with the Indian people or Indian student, Subhash Chandra Bose felt about the insulting of that. Okay, so he thought that he will get the revenge of this after taking the independence for India. He became determined to get the independence for India. He was very much interested in Indian independence struggle. He got the very much interest to about the India's independence. He became an active member of the National Assembly. He became the active member. He was very active member in National Assembly. He joined the Swaraj Party in 1923. Friends, remember this date in which year Subhash Chandra Bose joined the Swaraj Party. Subhash Chandra Bose joined the Swaraj Party in the year of 1923. He soon became very popular leader among the youths. After that, he became very popular in young people. He was in the top of the civil disobedience movement. Whenever the civil disobedience movement were going on, at that time he became the very on the top, because means he was very active member of the civil disobedience movement, and therefore jailed many times, and he also went to the jail many times into the civil disobedience movement. At the young age of the 41, he elected the president of the Congress convention at the Hirapur, Surat Hirapur. There was a place at there at the very short young age, just at the 40 years age, he became the president at there, and showed his ability, and after that he shows his ability towards the work. Okay, so he was the very and enthusiastic person and very sincere about his work. He left the Congress after difference opinion with the Gandhiji, and increased and established a party. After some time with working with the Congress, after that some time he left with the Congress and established his own party. The forward bloc to awaken publicist against the British traveled most of the region of India, and after that he moved all around the India. He was arrested under the Indian Defence Code and imprisoned. He was arrested by the under Indian Defence Code, and he was in prison, means usko jail mein dal diya gaya tha. He was into the in prison. During in the imprisonment, whenever he was into the jail, he was ill treated, means he has very bad behavior by the officers. He was imprisoned at his place of the residence, as his health was deteriorating, since he was fasting unto the death. Okay, when he was imprisoned into his own place, into his own house. So he get the fast until the death. Okay, he traveled the digest of the disgust. This word is disgust. He traveled into the disgust of the Pathan from the Calcutta via Peshawar, Kabul, Iran, Russia. Later on he reached Berlin. Okay, here given about that disgust means अपना भेष बदल के उसने क्या पठान का भेष जो है वो अडॉप्ट कर लिया था, और उसके बाद किसको पता ना चले, गवर्नमेंट कुड नॉट आइडेंटिफाई हिम, सो दैट्स व्हाई ही वाज into the disgust of the Pathan. So he went from into the disgust of Pathan, he went to Calcutta, Peshawar, Kabul, Iran, Russia, and after that last he reached Berlin, Germany. On which date? 28th March 1942. This date you have to remember, that on which date he went to the Germany, 28th March 1942. Indians leaving the Germany gave him a warm welcome. Whatever the people from the Indian side were living into the Germany, they gave him a warm welcome. He urged, means he requested, the people of the India through the Berlin radio the fights against the British Empire. He requested to the people of India, those who are living into the Berlin, they requested him to fight against the British Empire from there only. He also met the Hitler in Germany. We know about the Hitler. Okay, Germany का president था, and he met him and discussed in detail about the independence of India. He also discussed about the matter of the independence about the India with the Hitler also. He then went to the Rome and Paris, established the military unit for the independence of the India, recruited 3,000 Indians. He recruited 3,000 Indian soldiers in his army. Ras Bihari Bose, a revolution living in Japan. The named person Ras Bihari Bose, who was also a revolutionary who lived into the Japan, changed all the organization. He put down the work for to joining this organization and established the Indian Independence League. And he was established the Indian Independence League. Why he was established the Indian Independence League? To make India free. Then after Azad Hind Fauj was set up. After completing the organization of the Indian Independence League, after that Indian Azad Hind Fauj was set up. A presence of the 100 Indian delegates from the Malaya Japan, Sumatra, Java, Hong Kong, Borneo, Andaman, Burma. From all this side, the more than 100 delegates were become together, and after then organized Azad Hind Fauj. And in that Mohan Singh, a war prisoner arrested by Japan. Mohan Singh, a war prisoner, was arrested by the Japan, was also present. Moreover, Ras Bihari Bose voluntary retirement from the IN Indian National Organization from the Ras Bihari Bose declared his retirement. After that, Azad Hind Fauj and Indian Independence League. What was the Azad Hind Fauj and what about the Indian Independence League? After breaking the tight British security, British security means after giving the we can say that a British East India Company's security without knowing that person Subhash Chandra Bose cleverly reached to Japan after giving a tight security, after breaking the tight security तोड़ने के बाद Subhash Chandra cleverly reached the Japan from the Berlin. He went to the Japan from the Berlin in submarine, you all know, the ship that moving downside of the sea, that is called submarine. He went there into 1943. Moreover, Ras Bihari Bose of Indian Independence League invited Subhash Chandra Bose to be the head of the league. Okay, Ras Bihari Bose इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस लीग का जो हेड था इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस लीग, वो इनवाइट करता है सुभाष चंद्र बोस को क्या बनने के लिए, हेड ऑफ द लीग. ओके, Japan would provide every kind of the help from the Indian freedom. Japan was ready at that time for helping the India. It was promised that as Japan army advanced towards capturing Indian provisions and provisional government would be formed and Japan would given their recognition. Japan was ready to help the India and fighting against the East India Company and its rule. Okay, at that time. On July 2nd, 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose went to Singapore. On which date Subhash Chandra Bose went to Singapore? July 2nd, 1943. From Japan, and there was elected as the President of the India. The League on July 4, 1943. Moreover, Ras Bihari Bose voluntarily retired head of the Indian National Army, means Azad Hind Fauj, and appointed Subhash Chandra Bose the head of the Indian National Army. After declared the retirement of the Ras Bihari Bose from the Azad Hind Fauj, Subhash Chandra Bose became the head of the INA, Indian National Army. Okay. Residing there, got a proper and able leader for freeing their motherland. This party got the proper and able leader. Since then, Subhash Chandra Bose was called Netaji. After that, Subhash Chandra Bose were known as a Netaji. In his speeches, whenever he delivered a speeches on radio, he gave the slogan. Which slogan was given by Subhash Chandra Bose? This question were oftenly asked into the exam. Chalo Delhi. Okay, first slogan Chalo Delhi. Let's march to Delhi. तुम मुझे खून दो, मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा. Give me a blood, I will give you freedom. These two slogans were given by the Subhash Chandra Bose. With his skillful guidance, means his intelligent guideline, he formed the parallel government. He formed the balanced government. He tried to convince and urge the Indian residing into the Southeast Asia to sacrifice everything for the struggle of the independence India. He gave he makes the convinced of the people who lived into the Southeast Asia to give their contribution to get the independence for India. So he tried everything from his side. Establishment of the provisional government by the Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose were established about the provisional government. Subhash Chandra Bose formed a provisional Indian government and he became the Prime Minister. Azad Subhash Chandra Bose made a provisional Indian government, and after that he become it means which provisional government's prime minister. He allotted the other department to his companions and formed a cabinet. After becoming the prime minister of the provisional government, he also allotted a different departments and from his cabinet from his companion, and made the cabinet from that. This government was recognized by the Japan. This government was recognized by the Japan, Germany, Italy, nationalized China and Burma. This government recognized Hindi as a national language. This government was recognized which language as a national language? Hindi as a national language, and tricolor as a national flag. It was decided to have income by ascending Japan. Independence rule by the property tax. Netaji visited Andaman and Nicobar Island. Name of the Shahid. Okay, martyr. You have to remember what was the name of that? Shahid. That means martyr. And Swaraj. Swaraj means independence. So this is very important paragraph for the exam. Last step and martyrdom of Subhas Babu. Subhas Babu means Subhash Chandra Bose. What was his last step? In May 1944, under the leadership of the Netaji means Subhash Chandra Bose, under his leadership in the year of 1944, military units captured a region, captured Rangoon, Prom, Kohima, presently the capital of Nagaland. Okay, that is called Kohima. Kohima is the capital of Nagaland. At that time, they captured all this area. Then it marched toward the Imphal. Imphal is the capital of Manipur. You all know that. Okay, they marched to capture about the Imphal. But after dropping the 2 atom bomb at Nagasaki and Hiroshima, at that time Second World War was going on, and that we all know that America threw the atom bomb to the Japan, 2 cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and financial assistance to provide the government stopped. So whatever the financial help were given by the Japanese government to the Azad Hind Fauj, they were stopped just because of the destructions of the Japan. British articraft strove the welfare against the Azad Hind Fauj, and condition become critical. Okay, whatever the aircraft were attacked onto the Azad Hind Fauj, okay, and the situations of the Azad Hind Fauj become very critical. On August 18, 1945, this is the day you have to remember, August 18, 1945, he started from the Tipai airport of Formosa for Tokyo. He went for the Tokyo, Japan, but his plane caught fire. But on the way, his plane caught into the fire, and he got seriously burned. And while undergoing treatment, when he was into the undergoing treatment, he died. The mystery of his death remained unsolved till date. Till date, no one knows that in that accident Subhash Chandra was died or not. What happened with him, that anyone didn't know. Achieving the independence and the partition of India. After the death of the Subhash Chandra Bose, our new topic is about independence and partition of India. After getting the independence from the British East India Company's rule, the partition of India is divided into 2 parts, India and Pakistan. The commanders of the Indian National Army, whatever the commanders were there into the Indian National Army, were arrested as a prisoner of the war. The commander of the Indian National Army were arrested as a prisoner war. Indian National Army's commander were arrested as a prisoner war after that. Okay, and executed the treason and put on trial. Babubhai Desai and Jawaharlal Nehru pleaded their case. Okay, they were pleaded their case. The whole country took keen interest in this case. The entire people's eyes were there on this in this place. When the British government inflicted them with the punishment, they were protested against into the entire country, and from the entire country everyone was opposed about the decision which were taken by the East India Company. So moving to the populist opinion, the government had the withdrawal the punishment. After facing this strong opposition, government withdrawal from this punishment. This event and with the naval military of Bombay 1946, the British released their rule in India will no longer be tenable. On February 20, 1947, Attlee, the Prime Minister of the Britain, announced the British government shall give their power to the government of India as per the Cabinet Minister formula and shall be quit India by June 1948. Britishers felt that they were no longer stay into the India, okay, and Indian people are strongly opposed about their every activity, every steps. So this date you have to remember. On February 20, 1947, the Prime Minister of the Britain at that time, Prime Minister of Britain, who was the Prime Minister of Britain at that time? Prime Minister of the Britain was Attlee. Okay, he announced that they have to give all the rights to the Indian government and came back to England in 1948. Thus, in a changed situation, Mountbatten was appointed the Viceroy in the place of the Lord Wavell. On the place of the Lord Wavell, Mountbatten became appointed as the Viceroy. When he took took the charge of his post, communal rights, because he was believed into the divide and rule between Hindu and Muslim. So his intention was not very good. He had started in India. It had started into India. Hindu Muslim were fought with each other. The condition became very pathetic. Condition of the India had become pathetic. In July 1946, the Congress secured 201 seats out of 210. Muslim League 73 seats out of 78 from the provisions of the India for prior formation of the Constituent Assembly. The League pressurized the government for Pakistan. Whatever the League of Muslim League were pressurized about the set up the government for the Pakistan on 16 August 1946. So terrible communal rights and the tumult spread all over the India. In India's condition were very pathetic. People were killed each other. Hindu and Muslim are thirsty to each other's blood. So the condition was not good at that time. So they were decided that India was separated into two countries, India and Pakistan. Looking at the situation of the India, whatever the situation were there at that time, after observing the situation, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru and other Congress leaders felt that no other alternative except accepting the demand for the Muslim League for Pakistan. Muslim League were demanding for the separate nations of the Pakistan, and the main leaders Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru and other main leaders were accepted that situation. Because Muslim League and the Jinnah was the founder of the Pakistan. So Jinnah insisted to separate Pakistan. Jinnah wants their own country for the Muslim. Okay, Pakistan. The Muslim League boycotted the first cabinet meeting in December 9, 1946. On the December 9, 1946, there was a meeting of the cabinet. Muslim League was not interested to join that meeting. The Muslim League executive held on January 31, 1947, decided to boycott the cabinet meeting and gave a rapid and extensive program for demand of Pakistan. They were make the strike, they were took out the rally, they were do everything into the opposition of the government of India, and they were demanding for the separate nation Pakistan for the Muslim people. Mountbatten convinced Nehru. Mountbatten at that time the viceroy of that India, so he was convinced Nehru and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who understood the matter. They understood the situation, having well organized the central government, having the administrative units, and the center shall be more peaceful and progressive instead of weak. The central government consisting of the many autonomous oppositions of the constituents. National leader found the argument acceptable. Sardar Patel has discussed this matter with Gandhiji, who helplessly accepted arrangement of the partition of the India with a heavy heart. So at that time Mountbatten convinced the leader like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Jawaharlal Nehru to give the separate nation for the Pakistan to Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and after convincing that, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was thought a lot, and he was discussed with the Mahatma Gandhi about the situation, because he knows the situation, he understood the situation. If they are not taking this decision, the situation will become more and more worst, and people were taking each other's lives. So there was necessary to give the separate nation to the people. And after that, you can see in this picture there was a meeting. In meeting you can see this person is Lord you all know that about this person. We already discussed. This is from the British East India Company's side. We already Mountbatten. Okay, Mountbatten. The name of this person is a Mountbatten. You can see our right side of this person. Jawaharlal Nehru was standing there. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is also there. Okay, this is the person who was the founder of the Pakistan. This is the person of the founder of Pakistan. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was sitting into the white coat. So all the get together for the separation of the Pakistan. This was the real picture about that. So this is Mountbatten Plan, 1947, partition of India. This person was the responsible. Mountbatten and Muhammad Ali Jinnah both were the responsible from the partition of the Pakistan from India. On March 24, Viceroy Mountbatten presented his scheme. According to him, there was no alternative to the other than the pretension of India. National and prolific leaders like the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel understood the matter. After many discussing with the pondering, finally June 3rd, 1947, Viceroy Mountbatten decided to plan the partition of India. So this was the days you have to remember. On March 24, Viceroy Mountbatten who introduced this scheme to partition of India, and according to the Mountbatten, there was a very good for the partition of the India, and every leader were presented. Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and everyone was presented in that meeting. On 3rd June 1947, Viceroy Mountbatten decided about the partition of India. This plan is known as plan of the partition is known as the Mountbatten Plan. Mountbatten Plan is known as the India-Pakistan separation. The Congress leader of the Muslim League accepted this plan. Everyone from the Muslim League side, they were all accepted this plan. When the Mountbatten plan started getting implemented, the people of the East Bengal are a synthetic provision. Assam decided to join East Pakistan. Different people have different opinion to join the India or Pakistan. So from the people who stayed into the East Bengal, they want to join with they want to become the join with the Pakistan. So their interest into whatever the person's interest to join with the particular country, they are allowed or permitted by the government. West Bengal and the East Bengal were affected with the India as per the decision. Their assembly with the West Punjab joined with the Pakistan. West Punjab also joined with the Pakistan. It was also decided to the affiliate north-west province of the Sindhu, Baluchistan. All these things were included into the Pakistan. So Pakistan got this region. Indian Independence Act 1947, July 1947. What was the Indian Independence Act? The British government passed the Indian Independence Act according to the Mountbatten Plan. According to that part, first Governor General Mountbatten, who was the first Governor General? Mountbatten, and Jinnah, Pakistan's founder, the governor of the Pakistan. By this act, India's defense of the British rule came to end. They declared that British rules into the India were reached the end. Therefore, Gandhiji considered this act as the one and only best beneficial act given by the Britishers to India. Gandhiji declared that whatever the decision they were took till here, this is their best decision to left from the India. The last Viceroy of the Governor General organized the function in New Delhi. Whatever the last Viceroy of the British government who was organized the function in New Delhi at the midnight of the August 14. The Union Jack of the England was brought down from the pole and the Indian national flag tricolor was the hosted. At that time, 14th August, the Union Jack means the flag of the England was brought down, which means नीचे उतार लिया गया पोल के ऊपर से. एंड एट दैट टाइम फर्स्ट टाइम इंडियाज नेशनल फ्लैग को होस्ट किया गया वहाँ पे उस पोल के ऊपर. द डॉक्यूमेंट attributing the independence to India, whatever the document that is attributing towards the India was handed over by the Mountbatten to C. Rajgopalachari. C. Rajgopalachari was the first president of the India. So he first governor general, sorry, he was the first governor general of India, independence India, Sri Rajgopalachari. The entire atmosphere was the full of the excitement. Everyone was happy. Entire process of the transfer the power was completed. Everything was completed officially, legally. Documents transportation was completed by the leaders. August 15, 1947 was an excellent dawn for India. This date, August 1947, Independence Day of India, celebrated the first independence festival very pleasantly and cheerfully. Entire country, people of the entire world become very happy because officially India got the independence. Everywhere people hung toran, good omen, doors, sweets, and distributed in the school. Many people who had take the vow to felt the relieved in his fulfillment, but Gandhiji was shocked. Gandhiji was not completely happy. Why? Because their heart was just sad just because of the separation of India and Pakistan, the partition of the India. Therefore, he was deeply plugged into the grip. After deeply this meditation, he was very into the very deep thought that he thought that the problem hadn't solved here. Okay. After achieving the independence, India is becoming the independent, and the immediate problem of it, whatever the immediate problem were faced by the Indian leaders after getting the independence, India and Pakistan, two separate Indian nations, came into the existence as a result of the Mountbatten and this Independent Act of 1947. Under the Act of 1947, India got independent, but India and Pakistan become the separate nation. The resolution of the following problems had to be found. Whatever the problem were found, there are 6 problems were found after getting the independence. Recognition of the military force. How to recognition of the military force? Dispute over estate of the property. Which kind of the distribution? How it will be possible? Distribution of the estate and property, debits and credit. Problem of settlement of the refugee. Refugee means the people who are not from the Indian side, who are not from the Pakistan side. The people of their residence settlement was the big issue. Public service and arrangement of the civil servant and administrative staff. Whatever the people were there, but the administrative staff were not allotted at that time. So there was a big problem to allotting them. And demarcations of the international boundaries on the eastern western side of India to be fixed yet. Okay, यहाँ तक के उसकी जो ईस्टर्न वेस्टर्न बाउंड्री थी वो भी अभी तक फिक्स नहीं हुई थी, जो पाकिस्तान के साथ जुड़ी हुई थी, दूसरी कंट्रीज़ के नेबरिंग कंट्रीज़ के साथ जुड़ी हुई थी. दिस 6 प्रॉब्लम आर faced by the Indian government after getting the independence of India. Immediate problem, you can say. A 5-member committee. There were a 5-member committee consisting of the 2 representatives from each side of the India and Pakistan. 5-member committee, 2 representatives from India and 2 representatives from the Pakistani side. And from the chairmanship, and the 5th number was a Lord Mountbatten. This 5-member committee was held out to. Committee appointed the different commission consisting of the expert of relevant subject to solve the problem. The people were gathered to solve the problem. In case of the differences of the opinion, both the nations admitted to accept the final decision given by the attributor. Means the Mountbatten will give the final decision if any kind of the disputal or any kind of the difference or any kind of confusion were created during that meeting. Consisting of the representative of India and one of the Pakistan under the chairmanship of the former Chief Justice of India. Military commanded general of India completed the partition of the army, military weapons, etc. Everything was divided. British army left the India by British army left the India this day. You must remember, British army left India by February 22nd 1948. इस डेट को ब्रिटिश आर्मी इंडिया को लेफ्ट करके गई थी. All officers were employees and administrative military judiciary were given the opportunity to choose whether they were served India or Pakistan. Whatever the people at that time working as a military, into the administrative, into the judiciary, gave the options whether they were work with the India or whether they were work with the Pakistan. They gave the assurance about their pay. They were gave the surety about their payment, okay, allowance and security and services, a pension, everything they were allotted, that promise given by the government of the India and Pakistan. A large number of the refugee, okay, whatever the people of refugee, that I explained that what refugee were the people, they were not decided to from which country they belong to. From both the countries migrated, okay, they were migrated from one place to another place, leaving their houses. They have to leave their houses. If the people living into the India and they want to join after the separation into the Pakistan, they have to leave their property, they have to leave their houses, everything they have to leave and join to the Pakistan. If the person who live into the Pakistan, who wants to join the India, whatever the property and estate were there into the Pakistan, he or she has to left everything and came to the India or Pakistan. So this is the condition at that time. To solve this tremendous problem, to solve this rehabilitation and the restoration were very skillfully and presently. Then the deputy prime minister at that time, the one man army, you can say, deputy prime minister of the India, home minister of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. What a great man he was. He decided to settle down all these refugees, and he also took the decision to the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel merged 562 small and bring prisoner state of the India into the Union. India government Union के साथ जो 562 different state were that at the time of the independence, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel convinced all the kings of the 562 prisoner state to join with the India. Vallabhbhai Patel's strong determination and iron will the diplomatic negotiation to solve this problem. Just because of the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's effort, that we all know, India got the out from this problem. Yet long-term planning to find the solution of the problem, like the effects of the communal riots due to the partisan shock of the Mahatma Gandhi's death to make the independent India. Many of the other problems were also not to be solved, like the communal riots which were faced by the partition. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi were died by the Nathuram Godse. He was killed. Nathuram Godse was killed by the Gandhiji with the shooting the gun. Okay, after getting the independence, there were lot of problem created and faced by the Indian people. Self-reliant and the help of the good government. The weak condition of the Indian agriculture, the condition of the Indian agriculture become very pathetic and very weak. To create the atmosphere of the peace and the tranquility of the country, the inter-external security of the country, etc. become necessary. Whatever the security regarding to the Indian government, whether it is internal or external, it should be properly. It become the very necessary for all the government. Okay, so friends, here we discuss about the movement towards the India, whatever the condition were at that time of the independence, how they will get the independence, and after getting the independence, which kind of the situations were faced by the India and Pakistan, that already we were discussing in this lesson. Related to this video, whatever the PDF that I will send, you have to write down that in your notebook very properly, very clearly with the answer, and accept that whatever the exercise here you can see on your screen, whatever the exercise are there, you can see that you have to write down in your notebook. Exercise number 1, exercise number 2, exercise number 3, and exercise number 4. All the question answers you have to write down in your notebook. In exam, from this question answer also will come, and from the PDF question answer also will come into the exam. So you have to be prepared, you have to be punctual about the video and PDF that I will send you. Okay, in our next video we will discuss about the new lesson, new topic. Okay, bye.